Hello, my loves. This is your September soul message. The weather turned on a dime yesterday, and it is fall and it is raining, and so it is dark in here, but we'll do our best. You don't need me to tell you that people are not having a good time right now. I used to say that about teenagers, but it is squarely in the experience of adults right now, too, as I'm seeing it. So this message is called Stretched Thin. And the image that I got was animal skin stretched over a frame drum. And what I saw is the energy of Trinity. So the skin being one element, the frame being another element, and the string holding the skin on being a third element. And the string is the energy that's holding it all together, which to me feels like spirit. So there's several messages that are inherent in this metaphor of the drum. Number one is the skin being stretched over the frame. And it feels like that's what's happening to us energetically, that we are being stretched thin. And the way that I'm seeing it is that is for the purpose of shaking out everything that's unnecessary that we might be holding on to, whether that's possessions or ideas or friends or jobs or homes or whatever. This theme has been going for a long time. I feel like it's just, a little bit different edge to it each month. And when you're stretched thin, when things are intense, I feel like it's easier to get really clear. If you've ever been in a tragedy or been in a situation that called for complete attention and alertness, there's a way that it can drop you into your knowing really easily. And you know what's necessary in that moment. And because you're so clear about knowing what's necessary, you know what is not necessary. So it becomes easy to let go of things. So there's the stretched energy, but what I see when I see the stretched skin over the frame is that falling away. It's kind of like dust falling away, all the things that we don't need. And then we can become clear about what is necessary. And then there is the drum itself. And if you think about a drum, the purpose of it, the gift of the drum is resonance and rhythm. And it brings us back into resonance and rhythm. And I talk about it in the blog, so there's more information about that. But there's a practice that I call, if you do have a drum, a frame drum or a hoop drum, or rattles or anything, you could use something else. But there's a practice that I call drumming your house. And so there's more information about that in the blog. I won't go over it again, but it's something to consider in these times. And if you don't have one, you can even just use your hand and tap on your chest. You can clap, of course, but I like doing it this way because our heartbeat is our own drum, and it brings us back to the sense of the rhythm of the earth. And it reminds us who we are, what's important, what's valuable. And ancient mother, I hear you calling. Ancient mother, I hear your song. Ancient mother, I hear you calling. Ancient mother, I hear your song. So see how even that, without a drum, you start to come into resonance when you hear that. And that sense of like, oh, when you feel that rhythm and that beat, there's this sense of everything's going to be okay. I have a steadiness. I know who I am. I know where I'm going. I know what's needed, and I know what's not needed. So something to consider just to bring yourself into that. So what else? There's so much. There are 6 planets in retrograde right now. Did I write them all down? Venus, Mercury, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter. And I won't go even through all the energy of each one of them because that's also in the blog. But well, just really quick, love, harmony, relationships, communication, travel, technology, generational cycles, the teacher, the taskmaster, and the timekeeper. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, and that is about merging and oneness, and Jupiter is about expansion. And so wherever Jupiter is expanding everything else that's already going on. So there is a lot of energy happening right now. It feels like sudden radical shifts. You know that saying, we make plans and God laughs? It's that kind of feeling, like you think you're doing one thing, and then it turns out that, oh, whoops, no, you're not. You're going over here. But the going over here circles back around and helps you see where you were supposed to go in the first place. And so it's that information that's always being shared. So 3 things that I brought forward in the blog to focus on this month. Number 1 is take it easy. Slow that shit all the way down. Now is not the time to effort. Now is not the time to push forward. Now is not the time to make things or put things into place. Now is time to take the baths, slow down, cancel meetings, take a nap. You could say, yes, clean the house, but only if it's a steady kind of mindless task that you can do to balance your energies with everything else. Second is love your people. And not just love your people, but tell your people that you love them. Be noticing who is in your space and how they're affecting it, and both positively and negatively, but in this case, I mean more positively. Notice who's in your space, who's supporting you, witness them, stop and ask them how they're doing, be vulnerable and share how you are doing. We're in kind of a traumatic time right now where there's so much change happening and there's so much truth being, that's coming up out of the earth. I've been talking about that for years, but it's really starting to shake up our core and our center. And this sense of, well, I thought this was true, but now I've heard this, and so that makes me question. And I feel like it's this toggling from polarities closer and closer into the center. And a lot of times we have to get knocked off our pedestal in order to be willing to do that. And the third thing is to observe. So what I mean by that is to really pay attention and try to be in witness consciousness, so that you're not trying to fix or change or alter something, but you're actually just witnessing the way that it already is, witnessing the way people are behaving without trying to do anything different. Witness what's showing up in your life. There's always this sense that spirit is constantly talking to us, but are we actually paying attention? And the way that we pay attention is to notice what's happening in your life. And when you notice what's happening in your life, you realize that there are messages there and directives all the time. So that's another thing to pay attention to. So I want to talk about the oil, couple oils, and we'll pull a card and I'll read a little bit about the oil. So the oil for the month just came super easily. And I feel like maybe we had this not so long ago. Frankincense. Frankincense is the oil of truth itself. It's the oil of the masculine. It's the oil of the sacred container that allows all of the grieving, all of the change. It holds the container that allows the feminine to do what it needs to do. And right now it feels like the feminine has a lot of grieving to do and a lot of shedding to do and a lot of letting go. If you've never come to a moon ceremony, you should definitely check out the full moon in Pisces that I just recorded yesterday for August 30th. And if you've never come before, the first time is free with the code NEWBIE, NEWBIE in all caps. That is available in my shop. Moon ceremonies, Women's Circle, and Collage are available every month individually. Moon ceremonies are pre-recorded and in the shop. Women's Circle and Collage this month are on September 8th is Women's Circle and September 15th is Collage. Those are both live on Zoom. every month. And all of these things you can come to individually, and also you can join the Wild Moon community at different membership tier levels to get 1, 3, 4, whatever, or all of those offerings. So that's available to you. So frankincense, the essence of truth. I just want to put it on right now. It's so potent. It has like a gentle, calming energy, but it's so amazing. And if you're not already using oils, especially for emotional balance, hit me up and I'll get you set up with Young Living. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so this is from the Essential Emotions book. If you don't already have this and you're an oil user, get it immediately, if not sooner. Frankincense is the essence of truth. Frankincense reveals deceptions and false truths. It invites individuals to let go of lower vibrations, lies, deceptions, and negativity. This oil helps create new perspectives based on light and truth. Frankincense recalls to memory spiritual understanding, gifts, wisdom, and knowledge that the soul brought into the world. So think of that. The wisdom is already in you. The soul brought it into the world. All we're doing here on this earth plane is remembering. It is a powerful cleanser of spiritual darkness. Frankincense assists in pulling the scales of darkness from the eyes, the barriers from the mind, and the walls from the heart. That's been a theme the last several months. The walls falling from the heart. Through connecting the soul with its inner light, this oil reveals the truth. Frankincense supports in creating a healthy attachment with one's father. It assists in spiritual awakening and helps individuals feel the love of the divine. When they have felt abandoned or forgotten, that is very up right now, frankincense reminds them that they are loved and protected. While this oil is incredibly powerful, it is also gentle, like the loving Father who nurtures, guides, and protects. Frankincense shields the body and soul from negative influences and assists the soul in its spiritual evolution. Billy agrees. Enhancing practices of prayer and meditation, this oil opens spiritual channels that allow an individual to connect to God. Through the light and power of frankincense, the individual can draw closer to divinity, healthy masculinity, and the grandeur of the true self. I wasn't planning on reading that whole thing, but it felt like necessary. Chakra oils, get into the root one right now. We are so ungrounded and so much moving. You really want to do that. Insides of the ankles, bottoms of the feet, always here. And insides of the forearms is a great place for emotional stability. As far as planetary oils, I didn't even bring any downstairs. There's so many planets in retrograde. I already listed them: Venus, Mercury, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter. I would say Mercury for sure, because, we've got a Mercury retrograde that always throws things off, but go at your discretion, whatever you feel like. You can use that in whatever way. And the moon is a great one to work with for the moon cycles, just in general as well. That full moon in Pisces was all about father energy and healing, and holy cow, letting go of the weight that we have been carrying around from our fathers and from the divine masculine, or not from the divine masculine, from the undivine, what the word's not coming to me, from the disempowered masculine, toxic masculinity, however you want to say that, the patriarchy gone rogue, really intense. Okay. 2 cards fell out earlier. I put them back, and here we have 2 cards again. What are they going to be? Okay, you can't make this shit up. I'll read this one first. Mercury. Are you even kidding me? All right, let's see what we got here. We haven't gotten a planetary card in a while. Okay, here we go. Signals, messages, tricks. In the realm of Mercury, anything is possible. The energy is transfixing and seductive, just like the metal itself. Since this planet rules commerce and communication, it's likely there are deals, contracts, and calls being exchanged that will spin you into a whirl of mercurial wonder. Don't rush big decisions or get caught in the mesmerizing energy. Like I said, slow down. Rather, pay particular attention to the precise words that are being spoken and written. There's that witness consciousness energy again. There may be a trick underway, okay? Truth again. Maybe not. No one is sure yet. That's for sure. It is said that the energy of Mercury is found in the pinky finger and that its ally is found, and that its ally color is green. Enjoy your time in this emerald hall of mirrors. Just don't sign your name on the dotted line until what is liquid becomes solid, until clear words are expressed by an honest tongue. I mean, you cannot make this shit up. What was I going to say there about green? Oh, green is the color of the heart, but also the color of green Tara. And I had a really interesting comment on my YouTube recently about green Tara being connected to the solar plexus. And they said, well, they'd heard that it was connected to the heart chakra. How can it be solar plexus? Well, green Tara is the goddess of liberation. And as the goddess of liberation, and the solar plexus being the governing will and determination and boundaries and control, to me, green Tara is connected to the solar plexus. Kuan Yin would be connected to the heart because she is the goddess of compassion. So something to think about, but also these things are not hard and fast. You have to use your own intuitive wisdom and lean into what works for you instead of being so rigid about it. So back to the card. To go deeper, look up the statue Mercury and Psyche by Reinhold Begas from 1857 to ponder the riddle with no answer. That's the kind of energy that I feel like right now. Like there's so much shifting and changing, and it's sort of a waited out period. Like don't make any decisions and just kind of see what is going to be, see what you have after the tears have been shed, the shifts have been made, the changes, the chips have fallen, everything that is leaving has been let go of. Mercury is related to the god Hermes, a psychopomp and messenger of the gods. Witty and quick, Hermes can be seen in all things winged and swift and in the caduceus, Isis. My husband was just researching about Isis, and one of the things that he came across that I thought was so cool is that her wings are part of their purpose is to sweep and gather and bring all of the lost souls back home. Mercury reigns over all forms of communication. It is a particularly potent time for writing, learning, teaching. A pen is an excellent channel of Mercury's power. And might I add, if you have not already heard about my intuitive mentorship with Lion Medicine, we will definitely be talking about channel writing. Starts September 9. So check out that if you want to go deeper with me. It's a 9-month mentorship and begins in September, ends in May with an in-person retreat, likely at the Oregon coast. You can find out more about that on my website, and we only have less than 2 weeks to register before we begin. All right, the second card is spring. Blossoming, becoming the horizon. When spring arrives, speaking of which, that we are going to be learning about the seasons and the elements in the mentorship as well. When spring arrives, our eyes lift from the work and we peer out the window of our laboratory. We realize Earth has been in its own transformational spin. Hello, that's exactly what's been happening. The planet is screaming at us over and over to pay attention, and we just refuse to do so. So Earth has been in its own transformational spin, readying itself for a new era of growth. In a state of wonder, the alchemist sets aside the work of winter and opens the door, stepping into spring. When this card arrives, it indicates a blossoming, a coming into one's own. It's generation time, okay? Pluto in retrograde. You may be dreaming up a business plan, humming a new melody, or flirting with a special someone. Spring is the season of the East, where the sun rises and lights the world. You do not have to work on anything during this phase. Let the energy of the season push through. You made it through winter, and the bulbs burst on their own. So again, that same energy that I'm talking about of waiting and just being patient and letting what flow needs to flow. To go deeper, look at Louis Bourgeois' sculpture Spring from 1949 to ponder the flower within the bud. Spring has a what's next quality to it. Sit in stillness and envision the horizon. Sit with the image until it shifts and you see something coming your way. Buds and grasses push up and out. During spring, the season has a driving momentum to it, so keep an eye out for impatience, anger, or pushiness, which is also feels really up right now because people are, there's just a feeling of like anger and frustration and disappointment and things not going the way that we thought that they were going to go. And so there's this shedding of all that kind of hurt and frustration. And, you know, speaking of, I'll share this as well, and it may be obvious. We can be in different seasons than the physical season is in many different things. You can be in a different season in your business than you are in parenting, than you are in, you know, your marriage, than you are in building your life, or in a friendship or whatever. You know, we're always in different seasons, and then the, you know, the external season is informing us as well and talking to us and teaching us where and how and when to let go. So we're in that kind of spring energy, but and also we're going into fall in the northern hemisphere, and so there's that shedding, and then there's also kind of the promise of the rhythm and the beat of the drum of what can come next and what is possible with slowing down and steadying and coming into balance. And speaking of which, I just started again for myself another 40-day cycle of chanting, and I released in, I can't remember when, a month or so ago, a 40-day Learn to Chant Challenge course on Insight Timer. So if you have the paid version, you can do it for free. If you do not, you can buy it for $60, or you can buy the course itself for $44 on my website and do it along with me, and track your progress and tag me on Instagram if you're doing it. I love to share and know who's doing it and follow them as well, and we can all cheer each other on. But there's a need for that steadiness and coming into rhythm and balance. That's part of doing a chanting practice or a meditation practice or yoga practice. When you commit to doing something every day, it helps you kind of ground in to that cycle. So, you know, it's a tender time, but it's a beautiful time. It's that quote, pain and joy live in the same chamber of the heart, and when you squash the pain, you limit the joy. And that's the energy that we're sitting in right now, is the juxtaposition and the synchronicity of both of those things at the same time. And as I'm looking down at frankincense, I will also let you know a new diffuser blend that I'm diffusing right now that's absolutely amazing. Frankincense, valor, and bergamot. I'm living for it right now. It's a great use for frankincense, and then you only have to use a few drops because this is a more expensive oil. I want to say it's in the 70s or something, but and if you don't have a Young Living account and you want one, message me and let me know. I can give you a code for 10% off your first order. And I think you have to join Loyalty Rewards in order to do this, but if you do that, and or maybe not, but I think you do have to be in Loyalty Rewards, and the second month you get a free diffuser as well. So lots of options and choices, and I would love to help you with that or anything else. Intuitive healing sessions, spirit readings, join the mentorship if that calls, or the Wild Moon community. There's a great group of women in there that are doing spiritual practice and community, and it's really beautiful, and I am honored to guide and lead them and be witness to what they're doing, and also to be a part of it and to experience it myself, because we all need it desperately right now. All right, I love you. Have a wonderful month. Namaste, and I will see you next month.